Hey there guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel The Indian Jugars, and today the topic is transistors. So let's get started without further ado. So this is a transistor. As you can see, it has 3 legs or 3 pins. This one is the gate, this one is the drain, and this one is the source. Gate, drain, source, or GDS. As you can see, this is a IRF S630A transistor, which is an N-channel MOSFET or Npn transistor. Now in this video we will be looking at what's inside this transistor and how it works. But first, let's do a practical demo. So guys, as you can see, all the connections are done. I have connected this transistor. This wire is connected to the base pin of the transistor. This red wire is the drain and this one is the source. And as this is an N-channel MOSFET or NPN transistor, so I have connected this negative wire of the power supply to the source pin of the transistor, and the drain pin goes to the motor or the load. And the positive wire of the power supply is connected directly to the load. So guys, if I touch this wire and this wire simultaneously, a small current will flow from this wire to this wire, and that will trigger the transistor and the motor will start to run. And as you guys know, my body has a much higher resistance, or human body has a much higher resistance, through which enough current can never flow at 12 volt to run this motor. So this would normally never run. Like I will show you, this is the negative wire of the motor and this is the negative wire of the power supply. So if I touch this, nothing will happen because the current flow through my body will not be enough to turn on this motor. But if I touch this wire or this wire and then this wire, the current through my body will be enough to trigger this MOSFET, in which in turn would start this motor or run this motor. So let's do it. As you can see, the motor is turning. Let me stop this. There is one issue with these transistors, that is they will heat up very soon, and so you need a heat sink. So let's put on a heatsink on this first and then we will carry on the test. So guys, as you can see, I have put on a heatsink on this transistor. So let's plug it in again. And let's now try this. As you can see, the motor runs fine. Let me put on this and now try. As you can see, the motor works fine as it would run on a normal power supply. Now let's switch the load and try this bulb. As you can see guys, I have connected the bulb like I have connected the motor. Positive to the positive or one terminal and negative to the negative or the other terminal. As this incandescent bulb has no polarity, so it's fine whether I connect red to red or black to black or vice versa. So let's test this one also. When I touch this black wire or the gate pin, this bulb should glow. So let's test it. As you can see, it's turning on, and when I touch this, it glows brighter. So as you can see guys, this works fine like this. Even if I touch this wire only, it lights up a little bit. But if I touch this wire and this wire simultaneously, then this works, then this bulb glows very brightly. As you can see now, this glows even brighter if I wet my hands. So let me wet my hands. As you can see, they are now wet. So let's do it. As you can see, this glows even brighter. But with this small heatsink, the transistor gets very hot. There is a high risk of blowing up this transistor. So guys, this is also a transistor. This is a BJT type transistor. This transistor also works same as this transistor, but this can handle much lower power than this transistor. So this transistor is called a power transistor, but this is not. This can only provide enough current through it to provide its base current. And as you can imagine, this transistor has a much higher sensitivity than this transistor. So let's now see what's inside this transistor. So let's get to the copy. Guys, this is how a transistor internally looks like. This is basically a diode or two diodes merged with each other. Let me cover the half portion. So as you can see, this is a PN junction diode, and if I cover this portion, this is also a PN junction diode. These two diodes are merged to each other to form a transistor. If you know how a diode works, you can also understand how this works. So if you haven't seen my diode explanation video, please give it a watch. It will be on the I button here. So this is the collector pin, this is the base pin, and this is the emitter pin. Or in the power MOSFET transistor, this will be the source pin, gate pin, and drain pin. This would be the pinout of the BJT transistor, and this would be the pinout of the MOSFET transistors. There is only a few differences between a BJT and a MOSFET. A BJT can handle a lot less power than a MOSFET. And the BJT transistor pins are called collector, base, and emitter, and the MOSFET pins are called source, gate, and drain. So transistors work on a basic principle that if there is a very small current between the gate pin or the base pin and the collector pin or the source pin, then a much larger current can flow through this collector and the emitter pin, or the source and the drain pins. So when from this battery, this diode is forward biased, a very small current will flow like this in this circuit, and a very small current flow in this circuit in turn will allow a very large current flow through this circuit, and hence this load will turn on. So this is basically how a transistor works. And many transistors behave differently. Like transistors will stop this current flow as soon as this current flow is stopped, but there are also some transistors which gradually stops this current flow if this current flow is stopped. And there are also transistors which will start this flow, this huge current flow, when there is a small current for once through this circuit, and will continue to allow the flow of current through this circuit even when this circuit is disconnected, or when there is no current passing in between these two terminals. And this will continue until once more this circuit is connected, there is a small current flow again in this circuit, and if you again connect this circuit, then the current flow through this circuit will be stopped. BJT transistors are not like this. It will allow the current flow through this circuit only when this circuit is connected and a small current is flowing through this circuit. As soon as you disconnect this circuit, the current flow through this circuit will be stopped in case of BJT transistors. Now, both BJT and MOSFET transistors have two different types. Number one, NPN, and number two, PNP. NPN transistor is the one whose base pin is positive and the collector and the emitter pins are negative, while PNP transistors are the one which have its base pin negative and collector and emitter pins positive. If you connect a PNP transistor like this will not work because that will be in its reverse bias condition. If you connect a PNP transistor, the battery polarity should be reversed in both the cases to forward bias that transistor, that PNP transistor, and after that transistor will work. That's it for now, guys. I will be making some interesting projects with transistors soon. I will be making a touch sensitive transistor based switch soon, and after that I will also make some other interesting projects with transistors. So stay tuned for that, keep supporting me, as much more interesting projects will be coming on this channel soon. So if you have gained some knowledge watching this video, or even if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a like, do share and subscribe my YouTube channel.